Your first look inside of Fringe doesn't get any closer than this.
Action. What kind of terrorism is this?
Who says it's terrorism?
The stars.
Hi there, I'm Josh Jackson.
I'm Blair Brown.
I'm Lance Reddick.
Don't miss a behind-the-scenes look at my new show,
Fringe.
I'm so proud to be a part of it.
The stunts.
and then hopefully not slipping and dying in the ice.
The surprises, plus Infinity's top secret exclusive.
We can't keep doing this, sneaking around.
Only we can take you where no camera has gone before.
This is where all the good, dirty, scary, gross stuff happens.
Plus, what Phenom producer J.J. Abrams reveals about putting it all on the line.
Yeah, look, the pressure is crazy, but the pressure is always crazy.
The pressure's so heavy, it can bend your mind. Welcome to that spooky place where the weird becomes real. Infinity's got your all-access pass to Fringe.
What time do we leave?
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Joyner, and welcome to Infinity, television's ultimate fan guide from TV Guide Network. Today we're on the set of a show that is interesting, it's terrifying, very mysterious, and one wild ride. We are going to give you an exclusive first look behind the scenes of the sci-fi thriller Fringe, and you're never going to believe what we found out.
Olivia Dunham, FBI.
Whatever the hell was inside that plane landed itself right on time. Logan's reported stains on the windows and no signs of life aboard the jet.
Stains.
Blood.
Executive producer J.J. Abrams, known for Lost and Alias, does it again. Captivating audiences is what he does best.
I think in some ways Fringe is both the most real and the most insane and preposterous thing I've ever worked on, because it's just it's about characters that are very relatable and real and emotional, and situations that are insane and often absolutely horrifying. So it's sort of this bizarre cocktail.
Shaken, not stirred. Actor Joshua Jackson finds himself in the middle of the spine tingler.
Did you call it scary, sort of a thriller for television?
It definitely, yeah, there are thriller elements. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. There's thriller elements in the pilot. There's certainly actually some horror elements. There's definitely a lot of science fiction for the fringy science stuff. And yeah, it has that sort of pace of a thriller, and each episode is an investigation.
Have you done this before?
It's not an exact science.
It's not even science.
The title was one of the first things that came to my mind. I just loved the idea of a show that sort of took place in that gray area. Between what is, you know, common and familiar and mundane, and what is insane and you know, the most horrifying.
Along for the ride is Aussie newcomer Anna Torv.
How do you describe the show to other people?
I find it really difficult because I sort of start off saying, you know, it's, and I always end up losing it and go on this tangent and that tangent because I can't find a sentence that encompasses everything that it's about.
Yeah, it's sort of sci-fi, a little paranormal.
But then there's quite a lot of comedy in it. It's kind of episodic. It's almost, you know, like it's quite action-packed, but then it's, you know, there's little bits of moment. Like it's got everything. I don't know how to knuckle it down.
You know what we need to do? We need to figure out a new genre word for it.
Well, we call it fringe. We say, ooh, that's a little fringy, when something just doesn't quite sit.
A lot of people are likening it to X-Files. Would you make some comparisons?
Yeah, that's a pretty high bar. I mean, our show's not on the air yet, so I hate to give us the credit of something as good as X-Files. Mm-hmm. It's like the X-Files, but instead of paranormal, it deals with sort of supranormal, sort of scientific ideas rather than aliens and vampires and things like that.
Okay, so you know the show is scary, but what's it really about? We'll break it down for you. When an international flight lands in an airport with no signs of life, FBI Special Agent Olivia Dunham is called to investigate.
Imagine it's an FBI agent who thinks she's investigating the kinds of things that you investigate, like terrorism, but it turns out what's going on in the world is a lot stranger, and the only people she can turn to who are smart enough are this mad scientist and his son.
Dr. Walter Bishop is our generation's Einstein, and Olivia desperately needs his help. But there's a glitch. Walter's been in a mental institution for the last 17 years.
I knew someone would come.
And the only way to question him is to involve his estranged son, Peter.
Things like Mind control, genetic mutation, reanimation.
Reanimation? Really? So you're telling me what? My father was Dr. Frankenstein?
He just has no desire to be spending quality time with his dad at this point in his life. And then he gets shown this little peek, this snippet of this whole other world that's sort of happening behind the curtain. And that draws him in a little bit. And then there's this beautiful woman that draws him in a little bit more. And slowly but surely, he's sort of there.
You may be able to help us with it.
No, I think you got the wrong guy.
Either you come with me, or I let certain people know your whereabouts.
What time do we leave?
What happens next? Well, with a soon-to-be hit on the way, it's time to hit the red carpet premiere. Some of the cast was willing to do some spilling about their characters.
I play Richard Stieg. I play a character who you think is gone and he comes back.
Well, Mike played his character who is the sort of face of a large corporation. She doesn't run it. There is a man that we never see that runs it, but no one gets past her.
I play a character, his name's John Scott, FBI agent. He's mortally wounded in an explosion. We don't really know if he's alive or if he's dead.
And we got the top secret scoop on the pattern surrounding the show.
All the episodes are parts and pieces of the pattern that are, just unexplained phenomenon that we're trying to delve into.
The pattern is a series of either designed or accidental events that have been set in motion based upon some sort of scientific experimentation that was happening back in the day that has gotten completely out of control, or not. Maybe someone is controlling it. And it is our job to try and figure out how it started, why it started, where it started, and if somebody is controlling it, what their ultimate purposes are.
Is it natural? Is someone doing it? We don't know ourselves.
Well, one thing I can tell you about the pattern is that, while there will be a beginning, middle, and end to each episode, the pattern is going to be something that's going to extend over the course of the whole series.
We don't know. We keep getting little hints, but I really don't know.
The idea is that a lot of what they experience is actually interconnected, and there are people behind what's happening in some way and reasons for it, and it's one of those long-term things that come out over time that we're not doing like in episode 3. But the fun about the show is it's really the series itself in a weird way is a part of or a sort of byproduct of all these other weird things that are happening. So you don't need to understand that or even care about that to sort of experience every week and enjoy that. So that's the experiment that we're trying.
Lost, Alias, Felicity. Creator J.J. Abrams is the brilliant mind behind some of TV's most innovative shows, and Fringe is no different. So we went straight to the source to find out about the pattern.
Yeah, look, the pressure is crazy, but the pressure is always crazy. I'm always worried that it's going to go wrong or people won't like it.
Under pressure and on top of the world, J.J. Abrams is hoping to thrill fans yet again with his latest sci-fi creation, Fringe.
You just think it can't happen again, and how lucky is this to get a chance to do it. It really is bizarre.
Action!
Also on board, co-creators Roberto Orsi and Alex Kurtzman. They wrote the script for Transformers together, and they worked with JJ on Alias.
On this one in particular, we just literally sat in a room for 3 days a week and just went over all the history of all the shows that we've ever liked, and just started to kind of put together this show.
And the kinds of movies that inspired us too as kids, and what we felt was kind of missing from television for us as fans.
As much as Fringe is about science, we don't approach it scientifically. But what we are doing is saying, oh, this feels right, this feels cool, this feels entertaining, and doing the best we can to make it right.
Olivia, the man who was just released from a mental institution, he wants to give you a drug overdose.
I guess you could say it's a complex show only in that Fringe science is challenging, and the cases are odd, and you have to spend some time figuring out how to understand what's going on.
Gathering clues of our own, we caught up with the guys this summer at Comic-Con, the place where Fringe was born.
It really finally came into focus here last year. We were actually here for Star Trek, and we actually stayed an extra night because we were so close to figuring out what the story should be, and finally we cracked it, and we're like, okay, great, let's go write it.
Even weirder, we figured it out at that restaurant right over there, literally across the street. Right. And so here we are in the parking lot promoting the show, which is just very surreal.
And 1 year later, Fringe got its first screening at Comic-Con.
It's insane. I mean, it's crazy. Like, the fact that people love the show so much is great.
Creating more buzz for the new show is a marketing campaign that isn't nearly as black and white as it looks.
The significance of the cows is that they are separated in DNA by only a few strands of DNA from humans. And so they are an ethical test subject, according to Walter Bishop, our scientist.
There's a cow in the show, and they put cows on the street. It's weird when you get close to a cow. Dear God, it's a massive beast.
Is it a cow?
So, what's the ultimate message for viewers?
I think we want audiences to come away with a lot of questions, and I think we want audiences to come away loving the characters.
And I want everyone to come away with the sneaking suspicion that almost anything that you can imagine is possible nowadays.